Hello. Hello, and welcome again to Chris's Caribbean Delights. Here we go again. Listen, growing up as a child back in in Guyana, in Essequibo, Guyana in South America, and Essequibo is one of the counties, and I can go through this geographical thing with you, but it's in South America. The culture, this culture just fused together, and we are a land of six races. So we have like six different cultures, and lots of different food ideas. Lots of food ideas, and they all interacted, and we shared. Now, from my childhood, I remember because but one thing that stuck in my mind from having dinner with my Indian neighbors was the Maida Poori. This it's a nice soft puri. It's a small puri, and they make it for weddings, and they make it for lots of occasions, and that stuck in my mind. And I said, I have to try it. So I tried making it. I started, my mom used to make it. She got the recipe from my neighbor, and she made it also. So, so I started to try it out and stuff like that. But so I'm going to impart to you now the way I do it, and I added a couple of things to it, obviously, because anyway. So I enhanced it a little bit. I just add a little flavor into it, and I'm going to show you what I did, and I'm going to pair this with a chickpeas stew, kind of masala chickpeas stew, and we're going to see how it comes out. So let's go and make some Maida Poori, some nice fluffy puris. Okay, we'll be back. So let's make a few fluffy Maida Pooris. The twist that I'm going to put on it is that I'm going to add, I have some flour in here. I have 2 cups of flour in here. Okay. I'm going to add some cumin to that. A half a teaspoon of cumin. I'm going to add half a teaspoon of bullion powder, chicken bullion. And I'm going to add like a quarter teaspoon. That's like a quarter teaspoon of ground cardamom. Half a teaspoon of salt. And we're going to mix this all together. Just get it all mixed up there before we put anything else in there. Mix it into the flour so the flour becomes seasoned. Okay. Now I have like 2 teaspoons of oil. Might need some more oil. Good. I have like about 2 teaspoons of oil in here, and the oil has to really distribute all over the flour, into the flour. It's like if you're making a little pastry thing, pastry dough, but that's the same thing. You just distribute the oil into the flour. Just make sure it's all in there, and then it's gonna look like beads, like little beads. So we're gonna do that. That's gonna take me like 2 or 3 minutes. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I rubbed it all in. I rubbed the oil into the flour. Now we can just get our water and bring it all together. Some nice warm water. Don't throw, it will take maybe about a quarter cup or about a half a cup, but don't throw it all at one time, throw it in a little bit at a time, mix it in. so that you can control it, because once you put it in there you can't get it out, right? And then you got to start adding stuff to it. Because when you throw the water in there, you might think it's not doing much, but what you have to move it around, move the dough around so that it can absorb and the dry pieces can get into the water and all that. And then you realize that, oh, the water is doing something. It's all wet in there, you know. Like you see, I added like a it took about a half a cup, and the dough has come together. The dough has come together, and I'll just get these pieces. We go with a half a cup of water, and now we'll knead this until it comes to a nice smooth dough. And that's going to take maybe about 2 or 3 minutes. But before we get to that stage, I mean, before we knead it all the way, we're going to add some more oil to this dough as it is right now. So add like a half a teaspoon, maybe about a teaspoon, and just poke it in there and then knead it in. Okay, I lost power for a minute, so I'm not sure of what you heard, but I added a quarter of 1 teaspoon of oil to this batter here, to this dough that I was kneading. So, and then I punched it in there, just make sure it got into the middle, and then I'm still kneading it now for another minute or two until it gets nice and smooth. And we're gonna take it out. We're gonna let it rest for about 30 minutes. I think we're at that stage right now. See? Okay, nice and smooth. And we're gonna let it rest for about 30 minutes, and then we'll be back to break it up into pieces and to make our little balls. And we're gonna start the frying process. So, I'll be back. So, whilst our dough for puri is resting, so to speak, I'm going to do the chickpeas. I'm going to just get the chickpeas done so that when our puris are done, we can just, go ahead and eat. So this is the chickpeas. I have one kind of chickpeas here, and I have a series of seasonings here. I have a little bit of red bell pepper, black pepper, some bullion powder, some all-purpose seasoning, some garlic powder. I have some paprika, and have some tagine, and here I have some cumin, ground cumin. So these are what I'm going to put into the chickpeas to flavor it. And also I have a couple small sprigs of thyme, and I have like 4 and 2, 6 pieces of garlic, and I'm going to also use some butter, oil for the sautéing, and that to give it some flavor, the thyme. And I'm going to cut the garlic up now, mince the garlic, just take the bottoms off, take all the bottoms off, I'm going to mince the garlic, and then we're going to get it in a pan and get it going. So there we go. Let's mince the garlic. See, it disappears. I just love this instrument. Garlic just disappears. Where does it go? Where does it go? It all ends up in here. It all ends up in there. Okay, so we have our minced garlic and our other seasonings. So we're going to get a pan and we're going to fry this up, saute nicely, and get it ready for our puris when the puris are done. So here we are, melting our butter into the oil. I have about a tablespoon of oil in there, and I'm going to do a tablespoon of butter just to give it that flavor, you know. Once that heats up nicely, I'm going to put the sprigs of thyme in there, and they're going to start popping once the oil gets hot enough. So here we go. The thyme is popping, infusing that butter and that oil mixture. Yeah. At this time we just add our minced garlic. Garlic, the thyme, the butter, the oil. Now, we're going to add some color to this. We get some cumin in there, some tagine in there, some red pepper in there, black pepper, garlic powder, paprika. Everybody goes in. And everybody's going to cook for about a minute, at least. So we're going to let these guys cook for a minute. So we're back. Just add our chickpeas in there. Get them all coated with all the spices. You're going to do this on like a low fire. You don't want anything to burn. So once they're all coated nicely, taste test, okay? Pretty good. The garlic is coming through. Just a quarter cup of water. Or you can use some white wine, chicken broth, whatever to your liking. But we just need a little liquid in there to get it softened, get it nice and soft, and to get a little kind of stew going. Okay, so we let this bubble for a little bit on a low fire, and we'll be back. So here we are. I added 2 tablespoons of ketchup, of regular table ketchup, because we need to get a sauce so that we can dip our puri in, right? And I'm going to add just another quarter cup of liquid of water, or any liquid that you may have. And we're gonna let this just get in and let everything just marinate. And oh, the spice is coming through. The little hot hot peppers that I put in there spiced it up quite a bit. So this is going to go on very low fire. Until everything is nice and incorporated. And now that my dough is well rested, because we're going to make some puris now. You have to make them into some little round balls, depending on how big you want them. I remember having them at a really small size, not too much of a large, so not like a roti, but so you're able to eat like maybe two or three or four of them, you know. But they were so delicious. Put it in the palm of your hand and just fold it over, fold it in, fold it in, fold it in, fold it in, fold it into itself until it gets really smooth on the bottom, like that, right? You can even, you know, do a little thing and roll it around just to get it a little rounder and seal the bottom. Very quick. If you want it to get a little color, you just leave it a little longer. But once it puffs up, it's done, guy. So here we go, guys. These are our puris. Our puris are doing so wonderfully. wonderfully, wonderfully. This is so easy. I'm loving it. I was speechless for a moment there, how good they're coming out. And that's my final one. A very simple dough. You just season your dough. You can either season it or you don't have to, because it's just like 3 ingredients would make it: flour, your salt, and some oil. And you have to get your water to mix to bring it together. So those are the 4 ingredients that you'll need if you want to make this. But I added some extra seasonings to it. I added some cumin, some bullion powder, so it has an extra flavor. They're floating around here with extra flavor. So you're going to enjoy it all by itself, or you can enjoy it with the chickpea stew that I have there. Okay?